Harmony. Rồi vậy thì điền thêm một cái nốt ha, cho đủ 6 từ đúng không? Mỗi người 6 cái, mình điền thêm một cái từ ở trên bên cái nốt.
Cô cho của anh là
Khoan còn bạn cái còn từ nữa
là IMM tên cái IMM.
Rồi các bạn kế tiếp điền nốt nha.
cô là 20%.
Rồi.
Number 2 là the short needle. À, 10 to 15.
Yeah.
10 to 15. 0.5 million.
$1
Number 3 là 16.5 million. And just under 9 million.
Dạ thưa cô, ở option 4 là price $3 million. Advantage là the new company would be the new director leader. Disadvantage là some redundancies. Option 5 price là around $4 million. Bonus là access to technology, cost of sale 10% lower.
Thảo đi những cái còn lại.
Dạ nãy giờ em Thảo trả lời đó cô.
Còn lại còn không được cho mấy bạn kia nói hết luôn nha. Chị Thảo nói nữa đi Thảo.
Dạ. Repayment là $500,000 per year over 10 years. Combined sales là $25 million. Option 6 là sale of our access to pay debt.
Rồi. Để được cái học lại nha. Cho mấy bạn ghi vô đó. Điền lại nè.
Track 15. This year, Callisto has lost $1.5 million. Obviously, this situation cannot continue. Unless we take action now, we will go out of business next year. We have several options to consider. Our first option is to adopt the same strategy as IMM. IMM have reduced their operating expenses by 20% over the last 2 years. However, they have achieved this by ruthlessly cutting jobs. 1/5 of IMM staff have been made redundant. Here at Callisto, we have a long tradition of looking after our staff, and I do not wish to choose this option unless there is no other alternative. Our second option is to follow the example of our friends at Resonido and buy European technology, which would reduce our cost of sales by 10 to 15%. However, we estimate that this investment would increase our operating expenses by $500,000 a year. A third option is to cut our prices in order to increase sales. We estimate a price cut of 10% might increase next year's sales to $16.5 million, assuming, of course, that our competitors do not reduce their prices. However, our cost of sales would increase to just under $9 million. My friends, there are 3 more options which I have not yet discussed with you, but carefully. Option number 4 is a merger. IMM have offered us $3 million, which in view of our desperate situation is a very reasonable offer. If we agreed to a merger with IMM, the new company would be the new market and in a far better position to compete with Dylan. However, there would no doubt be some redundancies in order to make economies of scale.
Now, wait a minute.
As I said at the beginning of my presentation, I will take questions at the end. Now, option 5. This is a high-risk strategy, but we must consider all possible solutions. In order to compete with Dylan, we need to be bigger. One way to obtain that critical size is by acquisition. Our 5th option is to acquire Raysonido.
Oh, that's outrageous.
Raysonido are likely to accept a takeover bid of around $4 million. As well as synergy and economies of scale, this acquisition would also give us another bonus. Access to the technology, which means Raysonido's cost of sales is 10% lower than our own. Of course, we would need to borrow the money, and the repayments would represent around $500,000 per year over 10 years. Not so unrealistic with combined sales of 25 million, I believe. The final option is one which I sincerely hope you will not choose. That is to close the company and sell off our assets to pay our debts. I have kept it until last in order to stress that it is a serious option. All right, I'm sure you are anxious to ask questions. After that, I would like us to consider all the options in detail. Everybody's contributions will be valuable. Thank you.
This is fun, seriously.
Rồi cái này thì làm nhóm thôi, nếu nhóm nào làm cái này thì mới làm ha. Thì mình đóng vai mình là cái công ty của Callisto, và sau trong 6 sự lựa chọn đó ha, mình quyết định cái chiến lược nào ha, sau đó chuẩn bị bài báo cáo để mình liệt kê ra những cái sự đề nghị mình cho ban giám đốc, sử dụng slide PowerPoint ha, rồi mình báo cáo rồi. Rồi,